Good evening, Patriots. Once again, more government lies and government officials coming out and talking about drone activity that has been captured on camera by American citizens, by military members, members of the Coast Guard, as well as law enforcement officials, local law enforcement officials. And the Biden-Harris administration tout out the FBI to go out in front of Congress, Department of Homeland Security to take to the airways this weekend, telling you that there is nothing to be worried about, that they see no problems, no concerns, although they don't know who's operating the drones, who owns the drones, what's owned the drones. They're absolutely clueless. And if that's not all bad enough, you're going to love this. Remember Adam Kinzinger, former Illinois Republican congressman who sat on the J6 committee investigating Donald Trump and his supporters for the January 6th Capitol incident, along with Liz Cheney, both hand-selected by Nancy Pelosi to be on the committee because they were both anti-Trump? Well, he's now a senior political commentator for CNN. He is also a former lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force Air National Guard, and he served as a pilot. He also holds a FAA pilot's license. Well, he was interviewed on CNN today about the drone sightings happening across our country. And I have no doubt that the Biden-Harris administration asked him, because of his expertise as a military pilot and a civilian pilot and a former congressman, to come out and help calm you down. Oh boy, we're going to blow that shit up. During the interview, he made sure that the host and the viewers understood that he is a pilot. And then, just like he did on the January 6th committee, lied his ass off about what he and any pilot are capable of doing in America. Flying over any military base in our country that they want to, even said there is no such thing as a no-fly restriction zone. As a former military aviator, that is bullshit. As someone who has been in the civilian aviation sector most of my adult life, that is total bullshit. I'm now calling on the FAA to step up and take away his FAA pilot's license for this blatant lie he told on CNN. You cannot fly over a military base in America unless you have requested and received permission from the FAA and Air Traffic Control or the military base itself. The only reason this request would be granted is to deviate from your original flight plan due to severe weather conditions, an in-flight emergency with your aircraft or a passenger, or you're flying a commercial jet over the base at 30 to 40,000 feet, well out of the restricted zone, in a commercial flight path, going from airport to airport. He then went on to say, there have been no accusations of illegal drone operations. Another blatant lie. A Chinese national has been arrested for flying a drone near a military base. Federal law enforcement officials have arrested a Chinese citizen for flying a drone and taking photos of the military base in California. His name is Yangpio Zhong, Z-H-O-U. He's 39 years old. And he was arrested after trying to flee the country and board a flight in California to go back to China with his drone and his pictures. Then 2 men were arrested just yesterday after flying a drone within restricted airspace near Logan International Airport, according to Boston Police Department. 42-year-old Robert Duffy and 32-year-old Jeremy Folick were arrested by members of the Boston Police Harbor Patrol approximately 10:22 p.m. yesterday. They attempted to evade law enforcement and were fleeing when they were arrested. A third suspect that was with them did, however, manage to flee the scene in a boat and has not been caught yet. More charges, besides just flying this drone in restricted airspace, is pending on who they were flying it for and what they were taking pictures of or what they were using it for. So again, just like with the January 6th investigation, Adam Kinzinger, you, sir, are a pathetic liar. And your lies is why you do not seek re-election to Congress, because there was not a snowball's chance in hell of your lying ass being re-elected. But the fake news CNN is a very fitting place for you to land and find a welcoming home after ruining your own political career. So besides government officials coming out and lying to us, they trot out this idiot, a former military pilot and a civilian pilot holding a license through the FAA, on CNN today, lying and saying that he or any pilot in America can fly freely over the top of military zones all day long, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Look, you couldn't make this up if you tried. This is insane, what we're witnessing with these idiots. So I'd like you to take a look for yourself at exactly what came out of this man's mouth.
Let's talk further now with former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Good to see you, Congressman. So, what do you make of how federal agencies have thus far responded to these sightings so far? Secretary of Mayorkas is saying, we're looking at them. They pose no national threat at this time. Is enough being said or done to reassure people?
I mean, look, if people don't want to be reassured, then the answer is no. And, look, what I'm hearing from Homeland and what I'm hearing from FBI is we don't see a threat here. And look, honestly, every video I've seen, and I've spent the last couple of days looking at every one of these videos, every video I have seen on Twitter or on the internet are all airplanes. They're literally all airplanes. Some of them will show an airplane that's kind of stable out there and says that's a drone. And actually, it's an airplane flying towards you at 30,000 feet. And I can see the lighting on it. And if there are drones out there, by the way, and if any of these pictures that they have shown are actual drones, these drones then are complying with FAA lighting requirements, a green on the right, a red on the left with a strobe. And so it's not Iran, it's not aliens if there are drones. My guess is if there are drones, again, because again, all I've seen are airplanes, then it is more than likely some company that's out testing drones or something like that and has no requirement to tell the public that they're doing it because they're actually operating these things legally. There have been no accusations of illegal operations. By the way, as a pilot myself, I can fly over a military base whenever I want. Those restrictions don't exist. So I think there's a lot of mass hysteria, and I've heard stories of people pointing lasers at these quote unquote drones, and then the drones' lights go off. Actually, let's be clear. I've been lased as a pilot before. You're supposed to turn off all your lights once you get lased so that they can't find you.
And there you have it. Lies, lies, and more lies from our government, former government officials, and those that have landed a job with fake news CNN. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bless each and every one of you. Tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time for the live Douglas Ducote Show. Until then, take care and God bless.